You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop on the road of life. You can't stop. You can't stop moving. Keep move. Keep that pace. You switching to gear. Let's go as we climb up the hill. Don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working. It's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher another notch. Keep it steady. Don't watch the clock go round.
Greetings, my visionary dreamers. I miss y'all. Seriously, I miss y'all. I so apologize for Sunday, but we're going to talk about that. But for right now, listen to Torelli and the Fuse.
We are learning, always turning later. Cannot stop the time. Always merging into lanes that better suit us as we ride. Switch it up. Switching to gear, let's go. As we climb up the hill, don't slow down. Pedal a little more. The mind is working, it's in control. Your wheels are turning a little more. Going higher another notch. Keep it steady, don't watch the clock go round.
To everybody just tuning in, this is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, from the world, from some real bullshit. And you're listening to Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us extraordinary folk doing a damn thing the best way we can. And today's topic is things don't happen to you, they happen for you. That's right, don't stop. I love that part. Don't stop. That's right, y'all. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. I mean, a lot of times in life, we get so upset when things don't go our way. And we just think that God, the universe, is just picking on us. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? And we have to get to a point that, as I say, you stop and you analyze the situation. You stop, you analyze it, and look at it. And ask yourself, why is this showing up in your life? Why are you in this situation? Why did this just happen? Why did your man walk out on you? Your woman walk out on you? Your BFF just stopped calling you? Or you thought BFF stopped calling you? Why? You have to ask yourself. And a lot of times, it's not what we think. As a matter of fact, I would say 90% of the time, it's not what you think. The reason it's not what you think. Because just as it says in the Bible, something to the effect of, what the devil means for bad, God always makes good. I truly believe that. I truly believe it. I have, y'all know, if y'all been following the show, I've been through a lot of stuff. But nevertheless, I always come out on the brighter side of the fence. And why? It's because unconsciously, I used to, even when I didn't have this knowledge, I used to look on the bright side of things. Yes, things will happen. I will be upset in that moment. I might even talk about it for a while, you know, but nevertheless, I will find the bright side in the situation and move on from it, you know. Now, before probably, not when I say this year, I don't mean 2008, I mean a whole full year. Um, I probably might have lingered on certain situations longer than I do now. And I realize now that that was because of some of the people that I hung with or some of the people that I talked to. See, who you hang with, who you, it could be your coworker at work. It could be, your BFF, your best friend. It could be your sister, your brother, your cousin, you know. But as they say, your top 5 people that you're around, you need to look at their life. And most of the time, that's a reflection of your life. Not the whole reflection, but there's going to be parts of you that you can see in them because it's law of attraction. You obviously was attracted to that coworker, that friend, or either, with your siblings or your family members. Sometimes we can have a huge family, but it's certain cousins we hang with, or we can have siblings as certain siblings that we are with more, you know? And once you start looking and seeing like, you know, I can see some parts of me in them and vice versa, you know? And if it's some parts of them that you don't like, then maybe you need to pull back. Or maybe that friend, that relationship that fell apart, you need to look at it for what it is and let it go. Because it really didn't happen to you, it happened for you. Because I don't really think that, matter of fact, I know any relationship that I've been in, I've learned something from it. Whether it be friends, whether it be a significant other, I've always learned something from it. And that is the thing that we all have to do. We have to see what we learn from it, because that's what relationships are all about. No matter what type of relationship it is, you have to learn from it, you know? So this is what I'm talking about. Far as things happen to you, you might feel like, oh, your heart was broken. You think your heart was broken, but a lot of times that's God, that's the universe stepping in to say, you know what, enough is enough. It's time for you to go to the next level. And this person that you're with doesn't have it in them to go to the next level. So I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to let them act crazy and do some stupid things to hurt you to the point that you just done. I'm done with this person. I don't want them in my life no more. And now I realize that, but years ago I didn't. And this is not, like I'm not taking shots or nothing like that. I'm talking in general, and like I've said on many occasions, I appreciate anybody that's came across my path on one time or another, because I understand that everybody's in your life to learn from, and once you understand that, you will not take people personal. You will thank them, because I'm sure that when people do things to you, most of the time it's going to steer you up. Sometimes it could be a thing where, say somebody, okay, I'll use me for example. Say somebody stole, when I told you about the person that stole some of my ideas. That pushed me to want more. That pushed me to want to learn more, to want to do more. And I did it. And that catapulted me to this day in my knowledge of building websites and creating videos and editing and stuff like that, because at that point I was mad and it just took on its own life. But instead of me using the anger in a negative way, and this is where you got to understand that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Everything that happens to you, is meant for you to grow from. It's meant for you to look at the situation and know that that's a past situation and you need to move on from it and grow from it. I'm so happy that that person did that, because yes, I would have still did my thing, but I can honestly say I don't know if I would have pushed myself as hard as I did to learn the things that I did, and wound up meeting the overseas developers that I've met. And I learned so much from them. So this is what I'm saying. That man, that woman that left you, you thinking that that was the person you were supposed to be with forever. And then they start acting crazy. And then all of a sudden, here comes somebody that comes across your path that is like, oh my gosh, where has this person been all my life? That's like exactly the person that you kind of wish your ex was, and more. You know what I mean? But this goes back to my show of being receptive. When you hold on and you're all puffy faced, like, why did this have to happen? And why, did they do that to me? You don't have no room to receive what God is trying to allow to happen for you in a good way. So first off, I did not apologize to y'all. Let me swing back to that, because Sunday was a little cray. So if you didn't know, this weekend was my birthday weekend. So Sunday actually was my birthday, and I had every intention on coming on just because it was my birthday. I packed up my stuff. A special friend of mine came and got me. We went to New York. And if y'all been listening to the show, I told y'all one of my brothers live in New York too. So I kind of had a full weekend spending time with my friend. We had a ball, and then spending time with my brother. Saw my niece and nephew. My brother dog bit me on the side. It's a bad bite too. I don't even want to share it with him because I don't want him to feel bad. But that dog bit me. First dog ever. Anyway, but I had a good time. And actually the time that the show was supposed to come on, I did not have the right charger for my cell phone. Had my mic, everything, and my pocketbook, but my brother's phone didn't match up. We were in a restaurant. I was sipping on a mojito. And he's like, well, can you do the show? And I'm thinking maybe I could do it in his car. In his Jeep. But my battery was on red. So wasn't that going down? And I just chalked it off. And then what made matters worse is I was working on changing the time so you guys can know that the show was canceled. And I couldn't find how to do it on a mobile because everything's different from the cell phone. And to be honest, I still haven't found it. Gotta investigate that. But I'm not gonna take up the time. But I just want to say I so apologize for y'all. I mean, to y'all for not coming on because y'all know that's not me. I've been good with this. This is my 80th episode. 80th. Can y'all believe this? Episode 80. So I'm going to flip back to things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And I'm going to remind y'all as to how I even got to this 80th episode and use that for example. Now, this time last year, on my birthday, I decided to celebrate my birthday by myself. Well, I got my little chocolate cake, got my bottle of wine, and had a couple phone calls, but I was like, no, I just want to celebrate this by myself. And y'all know, whoever's been listening, if you've been listening, that I had a rough 2016. So I decided to reflect on my life as to all the things that happened to me. All the moving, how did that happen? Different career changes and it not working out the way I planned it. How did that happen? The eviction, definitely how did that happen? Having to go in the shelter, all of these things that happened to me, not really to my son because he was in college. He didn't really suffer like me. Thank God. But all these things was happening back to back to back. I couldn't even catch my breath. And I'm like, the thing about it is that I had a master plan going into everything. I had the job opportunity. I had the career opportunity. I had everything planned out. I had the places I moved to planned out. I put the house up for sale before I moved. Everything was planned. I don't think I could have made a more perfect plan. But it was like a domino effect. First, my car, my cousin fixed my car and really broke my car. Then I had to figure out a way to work around that. All of these things was happening. But what wound up happening on my birthday last year? I wrote all of this stuff out. I thought about it. I acknowledged it. And I said, okay, what is it that I need to change within me? What did this stuff happen to me for? Why did it happen to me? And what is it that I'm supposed to get out of it? And from there, I just pulled out my vision box. I pulled out my journals. I started writing. I started listening to affirmation videos, saying them out loud. I started writing down the next master plan for this year, for my birthday this year, the things I was planning to accomplish by the time I got to this birthday, And I'm so glad that I did that. I'm so glad that I took time out on my birthday by myself. See, when we have the birthday come up, we want people to take us out. We want to have a big party. But sometimes you need to sit down and ask yourself, up to this date, all the things that's happened to me that I believe wasn't beneficial to me. Ask yourself, what is it that I can change about myself to make sure it doesn't continue to happen to me, at least in that way? And what is it that I could take out of it? So my take out of it was I wrote down everything. I have nothing to lose mentality at this point because I had a rough year and I made it out with my right mind and I was way better off. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the things that God put on my heart to do. All these years, I kept stopping. No, I'm going to make this plan and I'm going to stick to it. So all the people that I met along the way actually had some input in the things that I'm doing today. So if I would have never went to the shelter, I would have never taken a job at the home nursing aide job. I would have never met the 96-year-old woman that said, I need to go and tell my stories. And there's somebody else that I met too that I'm in the process of something else that's even bigger. It's going to come out of it. And man, I'm praying on that. Y'all gonna know when I know. Anyway, but these are people that I met while that so-called thing happened to me. The eviction happened to me and pushed me in a position that I came across these people's paths that spoke good things to me that's beneficial to me, that saw the gifts that God blessed me with and confirmed them. Total strangers, But I would have never came across their path if that so-called bad thing of me being evicted didn't happen to me. I doubt very much if I would have came across their path because they lived in areas that I wasn't even really going in. So, I mean, what is the chances of me coming across a 96-year-old woman that barely comes outside path to have a conversation and say, you know what, you really should tell your stories. A lot of people, I believe they're going to like them. You should do this. Every time I saw her, to the point that it was like, I'm going to do this. It was like she put it in my subconscious, And now, August of last year until now, I've been talking to you guys. All because I got evicted. This is what I'm saying about analyzing and going down the line, going backwards to see, okay, if this didn't happen, then this wouldn't have happened. Then this wouldn't have happened. Same thing with me being here, at the retreat center. If I wouldn't have pushed myself to learn how to do videos and web design at a greater rate, I might not be working in a position that I love so much now in creative services and, editing videos, for the Institute, helping out with photography and audio, if I would have never left my job so many years ago, that my son's father and me were working at, I would have never got a job at the country club, doing banquets, doing events, and took doing events further. Because when I first came here to the Institute, that's what they hired me for, events. I just switched over. So those are two skill sets that I got down pat, and now years later, I was able to utilize at a place that helped me to identify me. Y'all need to get that. Where I'm at now, after all the chaos that happened to me, just in that almost 2 years span, 2016, 2017, made me sit down and say, this is enough. I gotta get to know me. I get to, I have to analyze, what is it that I need to change within me, and how can I change the things that's within me? How can I let go of habits and thought patterns and things that's not beneficial to me or my life or my future, All of that stuff had to knock me upside the head to make and just knock the breath out of me to allow me to want to breathe again. Y'all get what I'm saying? Sometimes we be in such chaos that we can't breathe. We can't breathe. But we'll still stay in the chaos, because we don't think that we're strong enough. We don't think that we have the resources to stop the chaos. But I'm here to tell you that when all of these things are happening to you, that is God trying to talk to you and tell you, sit down. Sit down for a minute. Slow down. Look at your life. Look at you. Do you want more of this next year? That is what's going on. And you have to be strong enough. You have to make up in your mind that enough is enough. So when I made up in my mind on my birthday, this time last year, the 18th of March, and I said enough is enough, even though at that time I kind of was back on stable ground. But in my mind, I was like, you know what? I really do. It's time for me to know who I am because I've raised my son. I've sacrificed a lot. I need to know who I am. And I need to do some soul searching. I need to get my spirit right. I need to get my mind right. I need to just balance out me, A lot of times we walk around here and we're out of whack. And so therefore we attract things that's out of whack. We attract situations that's out of whack. And we're just like dumbfounded, like, what just happened? Why did that happen? Like, you're out of whack. There's something in your life that's out of whack. Or God just wants you to move on from that thing, from that habit, from that person. So God will allow things to happen so you could get to the point that you're so fed up that you move on, or either if the situation you're in falls apart, you have to move on. So I had a friend, and not too long ago, she has her own business, and good business. And she felt it in her spirit that something was going to happen with her job, and she got fired. And the crazy thing is this. We talked that day, and we had a great conversation. I mean, laughing, joking. She was so excited. She's so excited about where she was going with her company and the things that was happening because, we had been talking and she had let go of a lot of baggage. And she was at this point that she felt so free. And she just, it was just a great conversation. We just left the conversation with smiles and everything. And then later on that day, she texted me and said, I got fired. I'm like, what? Where did that come from? But we talked later on, and I could hear in her voice that she was okay with it. She might have been upset when it happened because it was like kind of like blindsided for her. But she realized that that had to happen to her so that she could start believing in herself more, believing in her business more, giving time to her purpose in life that God has blessed her with, the gifts that God has blessed her with. So I know for me, the different jobs and careers that I've had, the ones that, well, they all kind of were short-lived. But I truly believe that I had to move on from them or move on to another house, another apartment, because God didn't want me to get comfortable. Because if I would have got comfortable, again, I wouldn't be talking to y'all right now. Sometimes we could get so comfortable that we miss out on the greater things that God has for us. Because we don't want to leave our comfort zone. We don't want to try something new. So therefore, God got to make something happen that's drastic so that you could get your booty up and keep it moving, and move on to the things that God has for you, the things that you would never imagine. But you have to pay attention to the things that's happening to you and know that they're happening for you. They're always happening for you. And you might say, Adionne, well, somebody robbed my house, or, my daughter was in a bad car accident, or whatever. You might say, okay, these tragic accidents, I don't have all the answers, but I do know this. I've had some crazy stuff happen to me, and I can honestly say I can trace back, if certain things didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be the person that I am today. Even the bad things, even the hurtful things that you don't think that you could ever get over. There's something that you supposed to get out of it. There's a story that you're supposed to tell from it. Whether it's to yourself, whether it's to somebody else. But most likely, it's for somebody else. And like I said, I don't have all the answers. I only can tell you from my experience and from what I've observed throughout my life, When I was having dinner with my brother, and as a matter of fact, I think I was telling my friend this too, because I was so on cloud nine for my birthday, and I was reflecting as I was talking to them, that I truly believe that I am the best version of me right now that I've ever been in my life. And my brother was like, wow, that's deep. And I was like, it is. But I really, truly believe that in my heart. I feel it with every fiber of my being. I am the best version of me right now. And it's not about having all of this materialistic things. It's not about that. It's about going inward, knowing that your spirit is right, knowing that you're balanced, knowing that you have let go of the baggage, all the people that so-called did something to you, all the things that's happened to you, you have forgiven, you have let go, and you have moved on from it. You have cleaned your spirit of all that clutter so that you could be free. This is what I'm talking about. And then all the good stuff will start coming to you. All the good things that you've been missing out on will start coming your way. You'll turn to this corner and it's like, bam, this opportunity is there. You go there, this person that is like so good for your life is right there. But you have to stop having a victim mentality as to this is happening, this is going wrong. The longer you say that, the more it's going to happen. I'm here to tell you, you might think it's crazy to not look at your situation and just embrace it. Yes, embrace the situation, but embrace it in a way of, okay, this is happening, and this is happening for me. This is not happening to me. This is happening for me. So why is it happening for me? What is it that I'm supposed to get out of this? Where am I supposed to move on from this? How am I supposed to move on from this? That's how you get to the next level. That's how you allow yourself to start receiving good things, good energy, good people, good opportunities. You know? So it's like you've been in a bad relationship. The lesson is, you know what you don't like. You know, soon as the next person you meet start doing certain things, that's not the person for you. You had a job. The job just wasn't so great. A lot of things happened. Co-workers talking about you, dogging you out. You know the type of job you don't want anymore. It taught you something. It happened for you to know that's not where you belong. The career that you thought you wanted wasn't for you. It just went all wrong. Then you know that's not the career for you. You need to pick a different career path. So with all of those things, it's teaching you what you don't want. A lot of times we think we want a certain thing. We think we want a certain person in our life. We think we want to do a certain thing. But it's really not us. So therefore, it don't go as you plan it. Just to show you, like, this is not for you. You know? You make a mistake. A so-called mistake. Because I don't believe in really mistakes. But you do something and you feel like, wow, I shouldn't have did that. That's exactly it. You know the next time not to do that. You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. When things go wrong, pay attention. Pay attention. You know? I can remember years ago, my son was a baby. He was like 1 year old. And I was coming home really late. I lived really far from Philadelphia, as I always do. I don't know why. Anyway, so I lived really far. And I was out. And it was really late. And the person that I was with was like, you should stay in Philly because it's late. You want to drive that far because the place I live was like an hour and a half away. And I'm like, nah, I just want to go home or whatever. So I got on the road and I was driving home. And I was about 3 exits away from, my exit for my house. And I fell asleep. I fell asleep at the wheel. And at that time, I was driving a stick shift. And do y'all know, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I would not be talking to y'all today. When I came through because I was crashing into the guardrails that's along the road. And where I was going, it was like a lot of farmland, so it was a lot of like steep hills. So if the guardrails weren't there, I could have easily just went right over one of those cliffs. Hey, Cynthia. Love you, sis. Thanks for tuning in. But I could have went over one of those cliffs. And I know y'all like, why am I telling you this story? Well, when I came through, all I can remember is I'm trying to get control of the car, and I'm like, Jesus, 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 that's it. That's all I could say out of my mouth. And then I gained control, and the car stopped. And instantly, when the car stopped, three big tractor trailers went by me. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And I'm just like, I'm just sitting there. It's like probably 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, something like that. I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm so blessed that my son was not in this car, because his car seat was on the side that was totally smashed in where the guardrail was. I had 3 flat tires. The car was a mess, but nevertheless, I didn't have a scratch on me. No hickeys, nothing. But the car was all jacked. So I say all of this to say that is something at that point in my life that had to happen to me, because I travel a lot and I've never had that happen to me. And from that day forth, I made it an obligation that I will pull over. I don't care if I'm one exit away. I will find me a gas station, McDonald's or something, and pull over and rest. I would not put me or anybody else that's in the vehicle that I'm driving life at risk, because I look at it like that was a warning for me. So it didn't happen to me. It happened for me. It opened my eyes. When the friend that I was with said, why don't you stay in Philly? I was being like, I should have stayed in Philly. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple of drinks. I wasn't drunk because we had sat there and talked. But the point is, you get on the road at night, you get tired sometimes, So, and that probably was for somebody, for that story to come out like that, because that was probably 18 years ago. Nevertheless, I'm here to tell y'all, when stuff happens that's crazy like that, look at it and know that it happened for you. It happened for you to get something out of, to learn from it, so you can apply it for your future. You can apply it for your family, for your friends, You can share that story or that lesson that you learned, so that they won't find themselves in a certain position, or with a certain type of person, or running with a certain crowd, or trying a drug or whatever, So my time is winding down, but I just want to say, embrace, embrace, embrace. Embrace the things that happen to you, and know that they're happening for you. They're happening for you to become the best version of you. But you have to acknowledge it. You have to make sure that you don't fall into a victim mentality when you have a domino effect happening and things are happening and not going your way back to back. I've been in that situation time after time again. And anybody that's close friends to me can tell you, I will just keep it moving, I thank God for my strength. I thank God for the mentality that I have, that I look at things and I always find the bright side. I always find even the bright side out of people. I realize that people don't mean to really, harm you. And this might sound crazy, but they really don't mean to harm you. Even murderers, they don't mean that. They just don't know who they are. They just don't know why they're here. There's something lacking in a person's life when they put out negative energy on you, towards you. There's a void within them. And it's not about you. They're not doing it to you. they're doing it to themselves. You vouching for me? Okay, thanks, sis. But it is. That's what you got to learn. And that's what I had to learn. I don't take people personal. I had to learn to pray for them and ask God to touch whatever void that they're dealing with, that it be healed, so they can know who they are and they can know the things that they have to offer to the world, to their family, to themselves, you know? So I'm going to leave y'all with that. Things don't happen to you. They happen for you. You just have to embrace, acknowledge, and keep it moving. Learn from it. Learn from it. Become the best version of you today. Make a pact with yourself that that's what you're going to work on. That's what you're going to do. I have written down my goals last year on my birthday, and I have accomplished 80% of them. The other 20, I'm right at the end, and it's really big, and that's why I'm not on social media that much. Oh, so thank you, everybody that's been saying happy birthday. My cell phone fell on the ground after on Monday, and cracked all up. So it's just been having issues. It didn't happen to me. It happened for me because I need a new phone. It's time for the upgrade. Okay? So I thank you guys. I'm definitely going to get in contact with everybody. I bless y'all and thank y'all. I love y'all so much, and I will be back on Sunday. I will. This is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, saving you from the world, saving you from some real bullshit. And you're listening to Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know, us extraordinary folks doing the damn thing the best way we can. I love you guys. Peace. Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chronicles-of-livin-podcast. Until next time, this is Adionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.